Craig, don't you dare mess up this recording, Craig. You were really slow getting here, so.
Well, I got Uncrustables, so he can have a couple if he behaves.
Is that like a food that children eat or something?
Yes. I'm eating one right now.
Oh, all right. Well, awesome. Anyway, we're the Grumpy Dungeon Masters. I'm Jay, joined with my co-host Christopher, Christian, and Dan. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello there.
No.
I was expecting you to just mumble something with your mouth full.
Oh, I swallowed before I said no.
Okay. Hey, Christian, where can they find us on social medias and stuff?
On the socials and such, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube and find our podcast there. You can also find various members of the Grumpy Dungeon Masters streaming on Twitch TV, Tuesdays and Thursday nights playing video games of various sorts, and on Saturday nights you can find Grumpy Dungeon Master Christopher running his D&D 5e game, Waterdeep Worldborn Dead.
Yeah, we got a Halloween episode coming on soon, so it's gonna be fun.
Man.
Yeah,
Who's your special guest this year?
I don't know yet. Still working on it.
You better hurry up.
Yeah.
Halloween's not long.
Nope.
What are you running this year?
Thing as always, but I'll change some things up. The way
But that guy's dead.
The way I picture
He's never dead.
the one shot Strahd is that every year it's Strahd again. And no matter what, he comes back the next year. So you have to beat him again every year, you know. And so what happens when you kill Strahd and it's the next year? I don't know. Maybe something fun or strange or different will happen.
Or
maybe
worse.
it's full of cultists this time because they're trying to resurrect Strahd. Or maybe Shaft will be there trying to get them.
Did you say Shaft? Maybe
Yes.
Shaft.
Bad mother.
Shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Shaft.
Strahd.
That's a reference to the Castlevania game, Symphony of the Night, where there's an evil wizard
Shaft
named
show up?
an evil wizard named Shaft, who's trying to resurrect Dracula to basically take his power, and all you can think of the entire time is the Shaft jokes while you're fighting this wizard.
Shaft.
Of course.
Oh, I'm looking at this guy. He looks nothing like Shaft.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. His name is Shaft.
Yeah, he looks nothing at all like Shaft. I call shenanigans. I get it. Oh, no, okay. The actual Japanese name for him was Shafuto. So there you go.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah,
same
pretty
thing.
much the same, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I got a question for you guys.
Oh, no.
I'm going to start with you, Dan.
Oh god.
What can you tell me about the spell Vampiric Touch?
Oh, yeah, we're talking about this.
What edition are you asking about?
5th edition.
5th edition.
Which 5th edition?
Either, doesn't matter.
5e 2024 or 5e whatever normal.
Doesn't matter. It didn't change.
Okay. It's a necromantic spell, and you reach out, touch somebody, and they take damage, and you regain hit points. I think it's half as many as you deal.
Yeah.
I can't remember whether it's D6s or D8s or what the base damage. I literally have never seen anybody cast it. I think I've cast it once as an NPC. It's like, wow, this is trash, and never cast it again.
Okay. Coffee? Christian?
Yeah.
Same question.
It's... What else do you want to know, man? We just talked about it.
Anything else you know about the spell?
It's concentration. You can keep attacking as long as you concentrate, which is great as a wizard that wants to be in melee combat. Constantly trying to reach out and touch
garbage. Yeah, maybe a warlock can make it work. I don't know.
Yeah. So
that's essentially the thing right there. I had no idea that was a concentration spell. I thought it was a one and done thing.
Nope.
I've been treating it like a one and done thing forever. And I was playing through some Solasta other campaigns, and I noticed that I cast Vampiric Touch with my melee warlock, and I was like, I can cast it again. What the hell's going on? And that's when I went down a rabbit hole of it's concentration, and when you use it every single round, it's pretty baller, especially at higher levels, i.e. the warlock.
If you got Warcaster and you can make it work, and sure, I guess it can be okay. But compared to earlier editions, it is dog shit.
Yeah.
Base damage of 3d6. You know what it was in 3rd edition, Chris?
What?
D6 per 2 caster levels with maximum of 10d6. And you got the exact same amount of hit points back that you deal. Temporary hit points, but...
Was it still concentration then?
No, just one shot.
Okay. Well, I think they made a concentration and and lower the damage so you can keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, but again, unless you're a warlock, why even give it a wizards in Sorks?
I mean, if you're a hobgoblin warlock and then you decide at 4th level to pick up the ability to wear heavy armor, then you could do it.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking sorcerers.
Hobgoblin wizard is what I meant. But yeah,
even then, the problem is that as a wizard, you don't have a lot of hit points, and if you're up against like a fighter who's going to be like, okay, cool, you hit me the one time for some damage and you healed a little bit, I'm going to hit you 3 times, action surge, and hit you another 3 times.
Shield, bitch.
Hit points you got.
Hit me with a 27 AC. Good luck.
A fighter definitely will.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more sorcerer too.
More attacks means you're probably going to get that good roll.
I'm thinking the sorcerer, just bonus action casting it, and I know other spells as well too. So I don't know. I just didn't know it was concentration. Just shows even after a decade of playing this game, I still don't know the basics of half the spells out there.
Well, I mean, first off, there's hundreds of spells, and you, as the DM, you're obliged to know the basics of all the spells. You don't need to be an encyclopedic on the spells. The person casting it should know what it does. A. B, if you're using it as an NPC, sure, yeah, you should probably read up on it. But I just looking at the various iterations of Vampiric Touch, going back to 2nd edition, there wasn't a concentration per se, but the way it worked in 2nd edition was you cast it, and then you have 1 turn, which if I recall correctly is 10 minutes or 10 rounds?
10 rounds. Yeah.
I guess if you're out of combat, it's 10 minutes. If you're in combat, it's 10 rounds. But either way, 10 something or rather. And you basically just hold the charge until you successfully touch somebody. So it's not burned, like if you miss with somebody, missed the attack or otherwise, but you still do have to touch somebody.
Yeah, which was even worse in older editions. In 2nd edition, you definitely did not want to be a wizard in melee range up on somebody.
But also your Thaco at level 20 is what, like 18?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
it is not good.
The best version of it, in my opinion, was 3rd edition 3.5 and Pathfinder because you could combine it with Spectral Hand.
Yeah,
because when you had Spectral Hand, it was fantastic. Because that was what made Necromancers was awesome. Because Wizards in 3rd edition thrived on meta magic. For whatever reason, they swapped it over and gave it to Sorcerers.
I still hate that.
I do too. But yeah, Wizards would have like empowered versions of it. They would send it through their Spectral Hand, which means they didn't have to get in combat. They had 120-foot range, and they would be using their spell attack bonus, not their fucking melee attack bonus. It changed the game completely. And then they got rid of Spectral Hand entirely in 5th edition, which I'm still kind of butthurt about.
Well, the scribe can cast through their book. It should be able to cast a touch spell through the scribe's book. There's still a way to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can
summon
get
a familiar and cast it through a familiar.
Who would immediately get slapped by whatever the hell,
Yep.
And your familiar would be dead, and you have to summon it again later. I guess the best version of it would be a sorcerer having it, who has the metamagic far spell, whatever it's called, the one that increases touch to like 30 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be the best version of it, but still, I mean, like you're burning a metamagic sorcery point every round just to do that.
So the problem it remains that this is a 3rd level spell that does 3d6 damage to a single target. You are burning a 3rd level spell.
half of that.
Yeah. So the good use of this spell, it kind of comes specifically from the Solasta game that we're playing. Is I am a cleric who has it as a domain spell.
Oh, that's great because clerics can maintain concentration, baby.
Right, and I can actually stand up there and take some fucking damage and not get immediately squished. Plus, I have a pretty high AC.
You're burning your third level spell on
Eh,
Vampiric Touch instead of Spirit Guardians.
Yeah, depends. If I'm fighting, giant fucking trolls or something like that, which we have in the game, or earth elementals, things like that, then it's probably a little better than Spirit Guardians. Spirit Guardians is great if you're in a room with a whole bunch of little guys, but not
Spirit
as
Guardians
great.
is great.
You know what?
Always.
It
always is great.
Even fighting 2 earth elementals or a troll, I would rather have Spirit
That is
Guardians.
consistent damage no matter what, even if they make their save every round. It is 3d8 as opposed to 3d6.
Yeah, it's a better deal.
It's radiant. Radiant, most things are not resistant to or immune to. Necrotic, very resistant. A lot of them are.
Undead. That's mostly it.
I think that this is actually, at least in 5th edition, really designed to be a spell for NPCs. This is for monsters and NPCs and spellcasters to really use, and not really, because you can, just looking at it with the other options available for 3rd level for any of the classes that get it, there's very little reason to take this.
Yeah, I could
especially
see,
even as a warlock who can stand his ground in combat. If you're playing a blade,
you still don't have the HP as a warlock.
You don't have a bunch of HP, and you only have a couple of spells. Why would you cast this one when you could cast almost any other 3rd level damage spell that is going to affect multiple enemies and do more damage?
Yep. Yeah, Fireball's just better.
Yeah. I mean, and that and the other thing, in 5th edition, unlike previous editions, combat does not take any time at all. As far as number of rounds, don't get me wrong, combat in 5th edition in real time takes time, but combat in actual game time, most combats, unless you're fighting a boss of some sort, 3 rounds or less. You're not getting the full use of your spell, in my opinion. If you're trying to ramp that up, and what are those other spells that now enhance whatever damage you do, I don't even fucking remember because I haven't played 5e 2024. The ones elemental something or other.
Yeah. Conjure minor elementals.
Minor elementals. I can see somebody trying to make it work with conjure minor elementals and building some twink ass red mage fucking build off of this, and saying, "Oh, look at the maximum build you can get. I can keep on sapping HPs back." And it's yeah, okay, man. By the time you've gotten any of these spells and tricks online, your fighter and your rogue have already murdered everything in the room, or your one sork with a fireball's blast. Okay.
Yeah, you're not doing that shit to 10th level anyway. And guess what? If you fight a fighter type thing at 10th level as a wizard in melee, you're just fucked.
Yeah, I said, even a warlock, you're better off using playing a blade lock, using a great sword, and attacking twice with that great sword at this level than you are casting this spell.
Yeah, because unfortunately, unlike in I want to say Pathfinder, where they had the equivalent of a blade lock, the Magus, where you could cast a spell and send a shocking grasp through your sword and then attack the second time with your sword. You can't do that as a blade lock because you're using the spell to either touch somebody or you're attacking twice as part of your attack, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, this spell in Pathfinder would be fantastic with a Magus.
Yeah,
but not in D&D.
No. Anyway, good throwback for a seldom used spell, and I think Christian, you're right. It's really meant for NPCs. I can see the big bad NPC of the end of a 1st or 2nd level adventure being a 5th level wizard. His only fucking spell is Vampiric Touch, and he leads off with that and just nails the rogue or something like that, and then turns around and is "Don't worry, guys, I got burning hands for the rest of you." And then you guys beat the shit out of them, because if you throw a fireball at a 2nd level party, they're all dead. But if you throw a fucking Vampiric Touch, it's scary for a second for the one guy that gets hit, but that's it.
Yep.
So speaking of part of this came up in Adventures League, because I think also a player did it twice. I was like, what? It's concentration? I didn't know. But Adventures League, Adventures League has been pretty fun the past couple of weeks. Now we're going through the caves of chaos. And I got to bring up one player who's he keeps dying over and over and over again, to the point where basically he's called his characters the Kennedys, for lack of a better term.
Did he die again?
So originally his first character in this campaign died to an owlbear. He was on watch and got eaten by the owlbear, and another Kennedy showed up, Kennedy 4. And one thing to note about this owlbear fight that I forgot when I was talking to you all is the party. I have like 8-9 people, and they put 2 people out for watch. And so when the 2 people started getting into the combat and the one player died, I let all the players who were asleep make a perception check at disadvantage to try to wake up. And the first one I said is going to be very hard because you're still asleep. And like 2 or 3 people passed that check. It was like 20. Okay. I didn't expect them to pass that check. And then the other person who was on watch that wasn't dead decided not to wake anybody up. So the owlbear kind of got closer and started hitting some people, and devouring the corpse a little bit more so I didn't wipe everybody, giving them a chance. The second round of perception checks was a little bit better. I think it was like 12 or so. And a bunch of people woke up in that round. And then the next check was something like 8. And the last check for the combat for the whole encounter was a 2. All right. We had one player who slept through the entire thing. Didn't wake up, didn't get a chance to participate in the fight because he would not, or I guess could not, pass that perception check to wake up from the combat happening. And no one had gotten to him yet to wake him up so he could assist with the fight. So he slept through the entire owlbear fight. And the players are just like, you know what? Just let him sleep. He needs to sleep, obviously. We're going to let him sleep. Let's put the owlbear corpse next to him so when he wakes up, he wonders what the hell happened, but we'll just let him sleep. I thought that was hilarious. He thought it was hilarious too, because his wisdom was like 0 or -1. And he rolled like a 2 on the end, and with the -1, he couldn't wake up. It was quite funny. So back to the Kennedys, we're going through the caves, and he's being a good adventurer. He's stepping up. He's getting the front lines to help protect his friends. Well, the adventurers come across a gelatinous cube, and it engulfs half the party. And a bunch of them get out, and a bunch of them don't. So this man decides to run up there with Kennedy 4 and hit the gelatinous cube. He swings, he hits, he deals some damage, but he doesn't move away. So when I get to the gelatinous cube turn, I take a swing with the gelatinous cube pseudopod, and I hit him. He didn't tell me that he only had 7 hit points because when he rolled 3d6 straight, he decided to make con his dump stat and had a 7 in his con. So he was pretty much at like...
If he rolled 3d6 straight, he didn't get a chance to make con his dump stat. It was his dump stat because he rolled a 3d6 straight.
Fair enough, yeah. And so like it died in 1 hit. He was just dead. And he laughed about it, and he made the mention of that he was going to have Kennedy 6 show up next session and take Kennedy 4's place. And I went, "What the hell happened to Kennedy 5?"
He's already
dead. He went, "Oh, he didn't make it. He died along the way."
Yeah, he died in character creation. Got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, that's awesome." But I've been working through the Keep on the Borderlands. I have a couple ideas on what I'm going to do with it afterwards. I'm going to turn it into the hex crawl that it should have been from the start. I think I'm going to use some of the books and some of the dungeons that it has. I think there's a Cave of the Unknown, and there's a castle that takes place in the B1 adventure. And I'll have the players find those and work towards those. And then, Dan, you linked me something as well, too. I got to look into that and see.
So B1 through B9, and for those not familiar with it, was the beginner adventure series for Dungeons and Dragons, the basic set D&D. It's B1, B2, and B3 at certain different times came with the basic set of D&D that you get like a Toys R Us back in the day. But in '87, Jeff Grubb was design coordinator and coordinated basically taking the best parts out of all 9 of the B1 through 9 adventures, and then kind of put it all together, and then wrote up a town at the very beginning of it called the Town of Threshold, and then actually made a very handy adventure flow chart of when and where your adventurers should and could go explore next. Although they're kind of open once they hear the rumors in town to do whatever they want to do and go wherever they want to go. They want to join the Thieves Guild and go on and adventure B7, they can. If they want to go help somebody clean out an old castle called Old Antilles Castle, you can go do that one. You can want to go check out why goblins are raiding along the border, if they're keeping the borderlands, you can do that one. But it's actually pretty cool. I would definitely check it out. I had never seen this before, and I joined up a couple of those old Facebook groups that have like people creating RPG adventures, and somebody had posted this. I'm like, I'd never seen that before. I was like, oh my god, this is the best of the B series? That's awesome. And they actually said it in Mystara and gave because all the B series adventures could literally be placed anywhere, and that's why there's no other additional information about what's surrounding these places. It's just for the GM to slot in there. But basically, they intentionally put it in Mystara this time, since all the B adventures did come with the basic and edition modules. But any of these could be good for first and third level. And I haven't really read through it all, but I definitely approve of Jeff Grubb and his ability to write modules. So he'd already been working for TSR for about 5 years by this time, so I'm guessing it's actually pretty well done.
That's cool.
I'm kind of flipping through it right now, and it did get good reviews too. So
that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty easily adaptable to 5th edition, because I mean these are all the monsters in there are shit that you know the stats of probably off the top of your head, like orcs and hobgoblins and goblins and kobolds and blah blah blah. Like you don't there's no real conversion happening here. You swap out these monsters one for one, and it's still going to run just fine.
So one thing I did notice with the conversions of all these editions is the Goodman Games version. They didn't change anything. Okay. So like if the original module said that, hey, in this room, there are 11 male goblins and 11 female goblins and a goblin war boss, in their 5th edition variant of that, there is the exact same number of goblins.
Oh yeah. Did you find the room with the 20 skeletons and the 20 zombies?
No, not yet.
Because we ran into that in 5th edition. We were like, you know what? No, let's back the fuck out.
So at least with the starter set, that number has been culled down quite a bit. So when I got into the room with all those goblins, it was 1 goblin boss and 4 goblins with them. So it was more appropriate for a CR1 party.
Boo.
See, I don't think balance is necessary. Let them deal with the horde of goblins.
I mean,
find a way.
One thing they did do, and this is the complaint Dan had, is that they definitely truncated a lot of the dungeons, so there's not a lot of empty hall space everywhere. So they did get rid of a couple rooms. I can't really do one for one. They kind of combined in some rooms too.
I mean, it is nice that they gave you the physical maps rather than you having to draw them out, and the maps are quite nice. And
to be fair too, for that party, I put in. Let's see. I had the Goblin War Boss. I had 10 goblins in that room. So not 22, not the 4. I have a party of
22.
Yeah, 22 is at least how many you should have.
When you had it in there in the older editions, it wasn't necessarily the expectation that you were going to go into every room to fight everything. Where I think 5th edition, the expectation is you can defeat everything through combat if you so choose.
No, they write in the adventure like they're not hostile to you unless, some like the hobgoblin says, hey, where's my birthday present? And like if you would have got a birthday present, one of his ones from the previous room, and brought it in with you and gave it to him, he's friendly to you. But of course Adventures League is just full of murder hobos. looking at
Right,
you
but
all.
the expectation of 5th edition is that every encounter is solvable with combat, so it has to be balanced so that you can fight through the encounter if you choose. Whereas in older edition, there was like, yeah, you can wander into fights that you cannot win.
I'm running the DCC Caverns of Thracia right now, and so far my players haven't run into that, but they are very well. I've explained it to them very well. There's just fights you're not going to win, and I'm expecting at some point soon they're going to come up against something like that and have to try to run away and maybe lose a couple of them along the way. But, we'll see.
Well, the gelatinous cube has killed one, but for obvious reasons. It's probably going to kill a second, for sure, and it might kill a few more. I mean, it's pretty tough for even 10 level 2 players to kill. Yeah. It's still got a ton of hit points. It still does a ton of acid damage, and it will eat through everything. And you can't get out of that cube easily.
Yep.
It's a DC 12, I think. So all the wizards are stuck in there. So it's been interesting, and I've been enjoying it. I do have to put more work into this than I thought I would have to, but once I get through this box set, and I'm going to do a little bit of the other starter set for Stranger Things one. I think the Stranger one's a better DM starter kit than this one is at the end of the day. But I'll have more thoughts on that in a later podcast, I think.
Yeah, after you've got more time to run it.
Yeah.
Suss it out.
There's a couple things that have already pinged on me, just like where this one doesn't have any comments about like how the DM can make things different. The Stranger Things ones is presented with the DM Eddie talking to the kid saying, hey, this is where I would put this random encounter. I would add this. I'd make this stronger. I'd make this weaker, blah, blah, blah. Those comments are all throughout those adventures to like coach you through DMing better.
Yeah.
So, but I want to play through both and see what happens.
Yeah, that's something that the old modules expected the game masters to adjust them and do things with them, but it really didn't coach you on how to do it.
There was definitely no.
Yeah. Figure it out. It's telling you should do this. Just adjust the amount of skeletons to match the party's power and toughness, etc. But it's not going to tell you how many that would be or anything of that nature.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. I'm also exhausted because I just came home from the LARP. So
yeah,
on to you guys.
Let's talk about that Demio thing that I linked you guys earlier for a little bit.
What is Demio?
So Demio, and me, Christian, Dan, we all kind of looked at this earlier, and we're still not 100% positive how this works. But Demio is a video game where you and up to 4 people can play it at the same time, and you kind of go through dungeons. It's very reminiscent of a VTT and Dungeons and Dragons. Like you have miniatures. There's several different classes you can play. There are specific adventures that you can run through, but I think it's done without a game master. I think the game itself runs it. But let's be clear, it is not Dungeons and Dragons. However, they are releasing Demio X Dungeons and Dragons Battle Marked at some point soon. So D&D, as we've talked about, they're going to be licensing out the brand to anybody and everybody going forward in similar nature to how like Games Workshop does with Warhammer. And apparently they've licensed it out to this company that made Demio. So now you're going to have a Demio version of Dungeons and Dragons. And it did say in the trailer thing or whatever that it's going to take place in locations that are familiar. You're going to have access to the normal D&D classes, but it's still not going to be D&D because you're going to be playing using the rules of the normal Demio game.
So it does look like, just looking at the Steam page, that they are like you're going to use the rule, like I guess the base rules, but they are actually modifying things for Dungeons and Dragons. So they are trying to. They're not going to, they're not running a straight like this is a Solasta style straight conversion of D&D to a video game. But they are at least kind of modifying their base thing to try to bring it a little more in line or meet. I don't know if they're going to meet in the middle, but they are recognizing that they are trying to build their thing closer to D&D.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is a licensed thing. This is a skin they are placing on their existing product, and maybe it will be a decent thing. Their existing thing seems like it's very inspired by D&D in the first place. The system might be different, but the whole idea, like just looking at it, is like even in the base game, it is you are choosing some adventurers and going on quests and adventures through dungeons, and it is turn-based with movements stuff. It does have like it looks like it's a card style thing that represent your various abilities,
mm-hmm.
a la like Slay the Spire and stuff. Though I don't know exactly how it works.
Watching the trailers for the base Demio game, it reminded me a lot of Gloomhaven.
Yeah, so
which is good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, I love Gloomhaven, but I've downloaded the demo, so I will play through the Steam Next Fest demo, and then maybe we can talk about it next week. I'll see what it was like and report back.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if it's actually any good. The base game I have no interest in, but since this is marked D&D, yeah, give it a whirl and let us know if it's actually even worth wasting any time on.
Yeah, I don't have my expectations are pretty low, so I'll just say that. It does. I mean, it does seem like it's kind of it does look weirdly like a VTT. Like the things, your icons for your characters are very much like digital versions of what a miniature would be on the table.
Oh, you even move them like miniatures, from my understanding.
And you move them like that. But they have the D&D.
The original game too was supposed to be a VTT game.
Yeah,
not a VTT game. No, not a VTT game. I misspoke. The original game was a VR game, so
yes.
it looked like you were playing like on a tabletop with tabletop minis.
Yeah, it was an Oculus game.
You're an Oculus.
You're an Oculus.
But yeah, no, I've got the demo. I'll try it out and let you guys know what I think next week.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're always looking for more games to stream anyway, and if it's actually good, then down the road that might be worth it.
That does remind me. There was what the heck? There was
so
another
D&D cross Fortnite. Are we gonna play that?
No.
Aw.
I'm not 12.
Yeah,
that was harsh, man. That's really harsh. That's half our audience.
Is it?
Oh man.
No. Who are we kidding? We don't have an audience.
Except you. I love you.
Yeah, if you're listening, yeah.
Yes.
You guys are awesome.
You're the best. Yeah.
Around. Can't help it. If I ever hear those words used together.
Around.
All right. Let's demo what else we got?
Oh, topics and stuff. So
I can talk about some stuff. I got a mail call of some stuff I've been collecting.
Is it more Dragon magazines?
It's not. I did pick up a couple of things that were not Dragon magazines for once. I picked up the D&D Expert set.
Oh, the blue box.
Yeah, with the Isle of Dread.
Yes, sir.
And it's pretty sweet. I love the Aboleth art on the front. Which reminds me, I went to...
okay. Hold on. So it's the Aboleth art, so it is not the blue box. It is the earlier...
it's the earlier one, yeah. I guess it's the Moldvay box? No, Holmes box. Holmes.
Yeah.
So it's the picture of the wizard like opening a portal, and then there's like it looks like a fighter and a cleric against a green dragon maybe in the portal. But this very image I saw surprisingly today at Books A Million, and it was in the package something called legendary artwork, and it's literally just like one of those nice leather dice trays that you can kind of fold up in the corners with and clip together. But it's the cover art from the the Expert Edition Errol Otis Wizard, and it's now my Tice tray because it's only $25. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get that. That's something I can appreciate. And they had other awesome art like the Larry Elmore one from the later Redbox edition.
Yes.
So like I appreciate that WotC is mining their gold mine of old shit and re-releasing it, because that's great. That's great stuff, and you're gonna get people like me, old grognards, that definitely want to buy like old, Clyde Caldwell, Larry Elmore, and Errol Otis cover art in the form of things that I still use.
Yeah.
Because I have all those things, but they're stuffed away on a shelf. But like, I'm gonna bring that to every fucking session of D&D where I'm rolling dice. I'm not gonna roll any better, but I'm gonna be rolling a sweet Errol Otis art, and I'm very appreciative of that. Other mail call stuff I got. I saw somebody actually auctioning off Encyclopedia Magicas.
Okay.
So I've been wanting this since I was a kid. Like, if you're not familiar with it, there's a four volume set of all the magic items from first to second edition that were in every module, every dragon magazine, every dungeon magazine, all of them kind of just put together in 4 beautiful faux leather bound volumes, 1 through 4. And I did not win all 4 volumes, but I mean, the original cost in like 1994 was $25 each, which obviously 1994, I was a freshman in high school. I was not spending $100 on D&D books.
No.
But I managed to get one of these for $10 and one of these for $30. The other ones went up to like $75 each, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But I do have now. I am now in possession of Volume 1 and Volume 2, and eventually I will get Volume 3 and 4, which I'm very happy about. I also picked up at a thrift store the official Dungeon Master deck of encounters.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
okay.
pick up a random encounter here, and I'll let you guys know what it is. Hold on. Okay. Let's see here. Here's the encounter. Tentacles of the Deep. This encounter takes place in an underground lake, so obviously if you pull a card that doesn't actually fit, you gotta pull a different card. Situation. In a large subterranean cavern, the party comes across a calm lake. Visible on the shore are unusual markings, and anyone who successfully makes a tracking proficiency check will realize that the markings are actually tentacle-like tracks that lead into the body of the lake. In addition, the tracks appear as if something has been dragged into the lake. If any party member goes near the shore, the party will meet the creature that created the tracks. When any individual approaches within 5 feet of the shore, an Aboleth attacks, flinging its tentacles at the target. Then the Aboleth will attempt to enslave the target, commanding it to enter the water while it turns its tentacles on another victim. If the party has not slain the creature within 1 to 3 rounds, the Aboleth offspring will arrive to assist their parent. Beneath the slime and muck of the cavern floor is buried a wand of negation with 14 charges remaining. In addition, the Aboleth has enough slime to create several potions of water breathing, earning the party 500 gold pieces when sold to an interested alchemist. And it gives you quick stats of an Aboleth.
Yeah,
But like it's like I this was another one of those things where I wasn't really DM. I never DM'd first or second edition D&D. That was my friends and my brother that DM'd that. So I never had any of this stuff. They had some of this stuff, but I was like, you know what? Some of this stuff still might be interesting, just to like, oh shit, I didn't have time to prep. Let's pull out whatever this card is. This one's called In a Handbasket. Let's see what this is. Okay. And I just pull some shit out. Like it could very easily pull out a half dozen of these cards and be like, okay, I'm not in the forest, I'm not in the lake. Okay, I am in mountains. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so I'm gonna do the orc based one, and then we're gonna do this other encounter. Like you could literally plan an entire session by drawing a random fucking map and pulling a couple of these cards, which for $10, fucking great deal.
Oh, wait,
Nice. Hey,
you got that for $10?
I sure did. It was
Oh,
$20 originally.
That's a fucking steal. Those are like 40 to 50 nowadays. So
Yeah.
Good job.
nice.
Thanks.
So you got Encyclopedia Magica. Do you have the spell compendium volumes, which is the same thing as Encyclopedia Magica, but
I
for
do not.
all the spells?
But when I was reminded of the fact that the Encyclopedia Magica and the spell compendiums existed, I tried to start bidding on them on eBay, and of course, they outsniped the sniper, and I could not get them.
I
they
am
went
missing
way too
one.
goddamn high.
I am missing one volume from Spell Compendium that I really want to complete the set because I love. There are some wild spells in those.
Oh yeah, they absolutely are crazy, crazy ass fucking spells. Like
It's fantastic.
much like the Encyclopedia Magica, it's like any of the shit that appeared in any of the modules, any of the books, and in any of the Dragon magazines. Like, what's great is they'll actually tell you where the fuck it came from too.
Yeah,
Like,
it tells you whether it's from Dragon or from Dark Sun or like it's just across all their campaign settings. So it's got all those spells. It's great.
I'm going to pull out a random page here, and I'm going to read out some of the stuff in here. Okay. We are under, let's see here. Let's see here. I think these are crossbows. Okay, these are all crossbows, and the special abilities going with crossbows. Hastinzes from Deities and Demigods Encyclopedia. While in battle, he uses a bow that shoots a shaft of fire for D10 damage. Its range is line of sight.
Line of sight.
This bow was made by a noble tribe of hunters long before the records of man began. It is made from fine wood and decorated with feathers of a hawk, giving it magical power. Anyone who uses the weapon adds +1 to attack and damage rolls. It's from the Dragon Quest game. This one's from the 1992 Fantasy Collector card number 24. It's called the Heartseeker Longbow. Like, seriously, that's how fucking deep they go with these things. When I say it's like anything from TSR, it's anything from TSR.
The Encyclopedia, the Encyclopedia Magicas are super, super in depth and absolutely amazing.
Yeah, like
I don't have any of
you don't
those.
need to use fucking Chat GPT to randomly generate shit. You can just flip to a fucking page and find something great.
Yeah,
and half the time it'll have decent looking art too.
So let's talk about something, since you're talking about the spell companions and some of the fucking crazy things in there.
Mm-hmm.
Should spells be balanced in general? Like, I think for 5e, that's
5e, yes.
For 5e, that's a given because everything is just built that way. But for a game, Dungeon Crawl Classics as an example, I don't feel like spells should be balanced in that game.
No, in 5e, yes. In Pathfinder, in D&D 3.5, I don't know about 4, but probably in 2nd edition, 1st edition, basic, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean,
because the idea, because you're, as in those older editions, in 1st edition and 2nd edition, you were so fragile as a spellcaster, like, it was okay for your spells to be ridiculous because that was the only thing you had going.
Yeah, you might get one fireball up before the fucking hobgoblin gets up in your grill and longswords you to death.
Hang on, go ahead, Chris.
There are a couple exceptions with 5e D&D right now where spells are not balanced. Particularly Fireball is not. It breaks the math calculations. It does too much damage for its spell level, but it was quote unquote an iconic spell, so they left it overstated.
Yeah, ish.
Spirit Guardians is as well too, I believe.
It's a 3rd level. You hit a couple of spells, but most things are. So just as an example of exactly what you're talking about, so I'm running Dungeon Crawl Classics, and I have a wizard in the party. And he found out last night that summon animal is not concentration. There is no concentration. So DCC, if you roll an 11 or lower, you fail the casting and you lose it from memory for the day. If you roll a 1, then you're going to be rolling on the bad charts. We'll just call it that. If you roll a natural 1, bad shit's going to happen to you. But you got to go big. So he cast it and summons up a whole bunch of pet dogs, and he had 4 dogs under his command and was able, they were able to get through the adventure pretty well with it. That being said, that spell is definitely not balanced. It's broke as shit. He also stepped into a single trap, took 6 damage, and nearly died.
Yeah,
he was at full health. Like he just went to fucking 0 like that. So
I don't know how DCC handles it. I assume everyone levels up the same in the same manner. But Chris, you wouldn't remember this, but in 1st and 2nd edition, wizards leveled up the fucking slowest, and then clerics and druids, because Like, so when your fighter was like 10th level, your wizard maybe was 8th. When your thief was 15th level, your wizard was still fucking 8th level.
Yeah.
I'm
DC,
not joking
yeah.
about that. Thieves like would rapidly go up levels.
They
And
gain,
Yeah.
every 1,250 XP would like 1,250 was second level for a rogue, where 2,500 was second level for a wizard.
yeah. And then it just got worse from there. Like,
Mhm.
so if you got to a level high enough where you're casting Cone of Cold and taking out an entire party of adventurers, you probably earned it.
Yeah,
And also, again, the fighter gets up on you, you are dead.
Yeah,
Like, there's not much you can do. Like, Stone Skin will save your ass, but not for long.
Yeah, DCC is somewhat like that. Level wise, it's everybody levels at the same rate. They didn't bother
Yeah.
with that. But you are super
Good.
fucking you're just super fucking squishy. Anything can
Yeah.
hit you and kill you.
Yep. I think any system that is kind of that roll to cast where bad things happen if you fail too badly and you lose your spell if you do, like those are great where you don't really need to worry too much about balancing the spell because every spell brings that potential of not only I might not only screw myself over, I might screw over my entire party depending on what I roll
Oh,
with
yeah.
that bad chart.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out to Shadow Dark.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got to bring this up. I actually talked about this a little bit at the LARP when we were talking about magic spells and our LARP, how they had a verbal, other systems that had a verbal that you could make up and stuff like that. One of the first LARPs I went out and played, there was no verbal for the spell. Okay, there was a word count, which is supposed to basically be a time limit. So the fireball spell in the original LARP that I played had a 500 word quote unquote casting time. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So you had to say 500 words without getting hit or pushed or interrupted in any way, and then you could throw the fireball. Okay.
Casting like an elemental strike in the LARP that you can still play.
Yeah.
No, it was worse. So when he threw the fireball, he threw a round like Nerf ball, and wherever it landed, there was a hole that was called. They measured out 50 feet radius from that
50
spot.
feet. Okay.
50 feet radius, so 100
Uh-huh.
foot diameter.
Mhm.
Every single person in there was incinerated.
Oh, just incinerated. Okay.
Just a straight incinerated.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay, so that's not just a fireball. So there was a great old system. The first system actually that White Wolf ever wrote called Ars Magica, where you end up playing like super powerful medieval style mages, and there was a spell called abysmal ball of flame, I think it was called. But you could like amp it up by putting a little like demon blood in it and some extra like lava or some bullshit, but like you could also just incinerate people if you managed to get the fucking spell off. But it took forever to cast, so people could close with you and attack you and prevent you from doing it. But yeah, I mean, there are limits to does it need to be balanced?
Yeah.
Balanced as well as like D&D first and second edition, sure. Whatever the fuck you were playing, Waples, that's stupid. I'm sorry.
I love it.
I only ever saw it once happen. It was a ship battle between us and someone else, and
So they couldn't get to the guy to do anything to him.
No, I physically threw a player from one ship to the other so he could push him off the ship, and
Nice.
that's what happens.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't want to go off. We would all die.
Ew.
Yep.
Ugh.
So I ran Shadow Dark this past Friday.
How many people died?
No one so far. Dan, how did it go? You're the player.
So I'll preface this by saying, my character, though he is quite wise, is not terribly smart. And we're playing Planescape. We escaped the first dungeon. We met a troll who was our friend / guardian / maybe the boss of the A team, and we're on a mission for the A team at this point. And by A team I mean we're maybe the B, maybe C, maybe the D team at this point. We're level 1 still. Who knows? I have 4 hit points. But he sent us off to some place called the Beastlands, as some of you might be familiar
okay,
with.
yeah, just the Beastland.
And we started talking to squirrels and a really sickly bear, and he wanted us to go rescue some elven seeress that her temple had been invaded by quote unquote things that don't belong there or something like that. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, we can do that, no problem. You saved us, we'll do that. So we get there and I don't know, just randomly selected directions we were going and went straight to where she was bound in silver chains above a big pool of water. And we're like, that seems strange. Like, hello, we're here to save you. And she's like, could you please get me out of here? And I touched her to check her pulse, and she had barely had a little threadbare pulse and very cold to the touch. I'm like, vampire, cool. Except I'm a dumbass. Oh, she's almost dead. We need to get her out of there. She's like, don't let me fall into the water. I was like, why not? The water's holy water. It's like, I don't understand what that means. Let's get her out of there. So, of course, we free this totally not vampatress and start making our way through this temple, which was a temple of Freya, and trying to discover, I guess, other holy symbols to make our way through to whatever this enemy creature, which is definitely not Slotty, have invaded the place. And we're like, I don't know what we're doing, but let's just try to talk to everything. So the only other things we found there so far were, I think, 3 or 4 skeletons that just talked to us and let us pass. I don't know. It is very weird. We did get into a fight. I did get old school. Have my stats drained. I think my strength and my con.
Oh no!
Which fucking sucks because my stats already fucking blue dicks. So now, but at least they didn't drop from even to odds. They went from odds to even. So at least there's that. But I also suddenly could not carry as much equipment as I could before. So I was like, I'm going to burn this scroll because I can no longer carry it. So, yeah, because in Shadow Dark you can only carry equipment equal to your strength modifier, minimum of 10. I had a 13, now I got a 12. Or your strength modifier, strength stat. But yeah, I forgot where we end. Where did we end, Christian?
So we ended, which was great. They've been Shadow Dark, uses its real time torch or light mechanics, and the party has been surprisingly on the ball with actually paying attention. And I don't let them time it themselves, so they're just kind of thinking about it, and they've managed to thus far through the whole first adventure and through this adventure never let the light go out. They have been great at somebody has thought about it all the time, within a few minutes of where it was, and said, hey, we should light it. It's been a little while, we should light another torch.
It's usually when we're droning on about trying to make a decision and people are trying to think way too hard about shit. I'm like, we don't have time for this shit. Our torch is burning low.
But in this fight, they're going through this fight, they're in this little chapel, and there's these undead, and they're fighting, and my little alarm clock that I set on my phone for their torch timer goes off in the fight. So I'm like, uh-oh, well, guys, you're in this fight, and the lights go out.
Yeah.
And that is where we left it out, is they managed to, they think, at least all the enemies that they could see right next to them defeat. But they are hearing a whispering, and their lights went out, and so now they have no light, and that's where we ended it, is they were in this weird chapel that's been corrupted, and they were undead in it, and now they have no light.
Yeah, I think I just tried to cast my light spell and then failed to cast it.
No.
Which means I cannot cast it again till tomorrow. Which the previous game I had attempted. I successfully cast Turn Undead twice, and then they rolled a nat 1. So now I'm running around because my patron deity is Odin. I'm running around with a eye patch on, mimicking Odin as my penance, and can still no longer cast Turn Undead. So now I have one spell remaining to my name as one of the only spellcasters in the party.
Yeah. Surprisingly, out of the party, 3 of you are spellcasters. You have one actually non-spellcaster.
I'll barely call Zach a spellcaster.
Yeah.
He has one spell.
Yeah, that was kind of how the wizard from the DCC game figured out that summon animal didn't suck, was when he tried to cast magic missile and failed and didn't have any more combat spells.
God.
Yeah, Magic Missile and Shadow Dark is neat. That it's in lieu of doing the normal D&D thing where Magic Missile just auto hits. You always have advantage to cast Magic Missile, and so that's kind of like your old reliable spell. It's the simple combat spell. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but because you always have advantage to cast it, it's
that saved John's ass multiple times.
Yeah.
He's rolled multiple ones on the other die.
yeah, it makes it harder to lose that spell, harder to get without it. So I think that's why he picked it. So he would have one like damage dealing spell that is pretty hard to lose.
Yeah. No, Magic Missile and Shadow Dark is a must. In DCC, you don't get the advantage or anything like that, but the successful castings of it, it can do a D4 of damage, a D6 of damage, 4d6 of damage. Just depends on how well you manage to roll. So that's where your Shadow Dark game is at right now.
That's where it is. I'm excited. I am actually pretty excited because they've been Johnny on the spot with thinking about the light and their timing and how to go through things, and they've been actually really great at. I probably just comes to this. I know Dan and John have played a lot of old school games of not thinking that they have to fight every encounter and really managing their resources of when do we want to fight, or can we try to talk to these things instead of just must we barrel our way through everything that we see with combat.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look under your character sheet and you see that you have all of fucking 4 hit points on your second session still, you're like, yeah, you might want to talk your way through shit. Just because there's 3 skeletons there does not mean you got a sling pipe against this guy.
Yeah. I always loved the light mechanic from Shadow Dark simply because of something you mentioned earlier, Dan, in that, hey, time's ticking. We got to make a decision. It's good. You don't have time to fuck around. You don't have time to sit there and plan every move. You got to go because you're going to run out.
Yeah. And Christian's doing the blitz mechanic too, so it's 30 minutes, I'm guessing, plus or minus a random die, because like it's never been exactly 30 minutes as far as I know, and it's like 30 minutes because we're only playing like 3 to 4 hours a game session. It's online. 30 minutes feels about right for dungeon crawling. Because if there's 4 people, you're carrying 1 to 2 torches each. You can get through the entire dungeon in the time period if you're Johnny on the spot with the torches. But yeah,
I feel like for the amount of time our sessions, because a lot of our sessions are from like 9 to midnight, which is 3 hours. Like at an hour, like that's barely anything. Like with a torch lasting an hour, you're fine.
Yeah,
but 30 minutes, it makes it a meaningful thing that they have to carry, plan for, and it's kept them moving. We haven't run these things like, what was that one session of your game, Dan, where like, God almighty, people argued like for it. It felt like an hour about how to like go up a vertical shaft and like who should go up and what they should do. And I was just like, oh God.
Yeah.
If only I had not been the fighter and I had some way to just go up.
Oh God, yeah, you're talking about whenever they went to the Demi-Lich's tower, and like the only way up was with magic. Like there was no way up without magic, and like they just argued over like there's got to be a way to get up that doesn't involve using a magic spell. I'm like, there isn't. You guys are literally in a wizard's tower, but you guys, okay. And they also had just spelled like the only person who could give them a clue.
Yeah, I know. It was agonizing because I am the fighter and I literally can't do anything. I expended my thing to fly. Like it was my like charges of my sword that I was trying to save for a thing.
Fighting the Demi-Lich, yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I'm flying up. I'm done listening to like it was me and Whitney. We were just like, we are done listening to these people jabber on about this.
I think she could once a day at that point like sprout wings as a dragonborn, so she could fly too. It's just like, okay, fuck it, let's just fly.
That's what you have to do. Sometimes you just have to force the decision. So.
But so far, like that hasn't been an issue in this game. Like they've been very mindful of their limited amount of time, and they've moved forward. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that the combats are super quick. Like even when we get into the fight, like it's not a ton of time. It's not taking an hour.
Yeah, whatever spell that the Nord Seer has is fucking sick though. Like the enraging spell or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
So long as you keep attacking every round, you gain advantage when you're doing melee attacks, and you do additional D4 damage, which in Shadowdark is a lot.
mhm. Yeah. The Seers are really good.
Yeah.
Seer is a really interesting class. But yeah, the first game he failed immediately out the door on that spell and never had a spell again
Yeah.
for the game.
Yeah.
So this time he got it off, and it's to great effect. The big undead that was in that room, I can't remember if it was you, Dan, or Rob. One of you guys hit it once, but you did max damage because of that, and
He hit something one. Yeah, no, I think Rob hit it once, and then I hit the next undead after the lights went out. I was enraged as well, and my disadvantage turned into a normal hit, but I managed to actually hit when somebody spent a luck point on me, and then did max damage, so like 11 points of damage with my mace. But that was pretty great.
I mean, 11 damage at level 1 in Shadowdark's a lot of fucking damage.
Yeah, I mean, I have a +1 mace that's cursed, and it's because I couldn't have anything good. And apparently, most of the stuff you're going to find in Shadowdark that's a magic item, if it's not like a scroll or consumable item, is going to be cursed in some way. The curse is pretty minor. It's a minor curse. It's like it drips acid, 1, and 2, I burn myself, like physically burn myself if I pick up gold. I'm like, okay, but it's a magic mace.
That's actually not that. That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I gave
the Witcher did not warn me about that before I picked up gold, so I did burn myself, which kind of sucked.
Yep. I actually handed out some armor yesterday in the Caverns of Thracia. It was in one of the other books that with it, and it's magical hide armor that makes you immune to physical damage from any enemies of 3 hit dice or less, but you take double damage from any enemies of 4 hit dice or more. And you're cursed, so you can't take it off without a remove curse spell. So in the beginning, early on, it's probably really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
But after you want your second, third, maybe higher level, at that point, you're going to run into something that's just going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I've been enjoying running Shadowdark. I'm glad to not be running Planescape in 5th edition D&D. I'm kind of easing everyone into it, kind of like this is another dungeon. I did the first one was a dungeon crawl. This is another dungeon crawl, just to kind of get everyone used to the crawl mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing they do will probably involve some travel, so I'll throw in those, overworld travel
random encounters
to get everyone. So kind of ease everyone into the system and kind of slowly get used to it, and then throw the weirdness of Planescape on top. After this, they'll finally get to the Sigil, the City of Doors.
Oh boy. A lot of fun to be there. Lots of trouble to get into.
Yes.
Whenever you see a shadow behind a giant floating lady, jump into it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine. All right.
It's fine.
So anybody got any last minute topics?
I got one little thing to bring up. It is October, and there's a couple of things in the general RPG community going on in October, so I just want to highlight those. You got Morktober. Morkborg does a thing every October where they have prompts. They have 31 days of prompts, kind of like the Inktober kind of thing. Though it's not necessarily limited to art in this instance, but they just have 31 days of prompts for you to create content around, whether that be art or mechanics or encounters or magic items or monsters or whatever. So you can find it on people post on Reddit and X and Blue Sky and other social media and stuff. Even if you just want to go look at some interesting art and stuff people are doing, it's a fun thing to go look at just to see the creations.
So just as an example, I pulled it up. Like on the first day of October, it was frog. Second day was maw, like a mouth. Third day was daggers, howl, stain. It's different things like that you're expected to create art or a dungeon or a magic item or something off of. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Somebody in the, I don't know if this was always a thing. I just noticed in the Shadow Dark community, somebody posted a thing of Drawtober, and it's an art thing for Shadow Dark where they posted 31 days of prompts to draw Shadow Dark art.
Yeah.
So you can also find that in Shadow Dark's Discord or on their Reddit, their subreddit for Shadow Dark, where people are putting art out for Shadow Dark, and it's cool to see that. So similar thing there. And then also, every October, Tuesday Night Games, which is the company behind Mothership, does what's called Mothership Month, where they run a crowdfunding campaign on BackerKit. That this is where they put out their big expansion for the year, but they also kind of sponsor and highlight a bunch of third-party creators that they select to also participate in Mothership Month. And they give you kind of like bonus goodies and stuff if you back multiple of the campaigns for Mothership. So they are running through their big thing if you're into sci-fi horror. Mothership Month is going on BackerKit. There's some really cool stuff in there. They're doing a big box set expansion for Mothership based on the big space station, one of their beginning adventures. And they've opened up that space station for every other creator, third-party creators, to create whatever they want for it. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of neat little projects going on, a lot of neat adventures and stuff if you're into Mothership and sci-fi horror.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Mothership was, I absolutely loved it the one time I got to play it up at GaryCon.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
Good stuff. Yeah, they got a whole bunch of Kickstarters or backer kits currently on that. Wages of Sin seems to be the main one.
That was their last one. That was 2024. This one is called Prospero's Dream.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually a whole box set. The Wages of Sin was cool. I didn't get that last year. I didn't know about it in time for last year, because that was neat because it's a hardcover book that they did. It was all about like bounty hunting with a sci-fi horror take on it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is based on a space station that is, run in a very dystopian, capitalistic. Also, there's terrible things happening from aliens and AI and other stuff on this space station, but it's too crowded. There's too many people, and there's rogue AI. All the good things you could want in a horrible, in a horrible horror future. So. They're putting out a new box set for that has kind of its own like Warden's Guide, which is their GM guide for running this specific space station setting, with a bunch of other stuff in it. And then there's a lot of neat projects from various third-party creators, because Mothership has a very generous third-party license for people, which is one of the reasons it's been so popular.
Yeah.
I know one of the ones I backed was called Certain Fathoms, which is basically a constantly shifting mega dungeon for Mothership, where you have a code to an elevator and you descend to a random level every time you go down. And there's an AI guide that kind of will talk to you, but everything you go it's just every time you go, it's a random level, and you generate what is on that level of this abandoned cloning AI research facility.
I love it. Love everything about it. I see that one of the ones that they've got is called Roach Motel.
Yeah.
A 32-page labyrinth for Mothership. Fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff on here. There's another one, Hunters, which is oh gosh, what's that fucking novel? Yeah, where you're hunting humans instead of, the whole thing is the hunt.
Oh yeah, Hunger Games.
Not Hunger Games. No, there's an actual real
hunted. There have been so many of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. I'm failing my high school literature right now, but
oh no.
Yeah, I know. Nicole would slap me.
As she should.
As she should. Lit major that she is.
Where's your word clues?
Yeah, you'll think of it later after the podcast.
Yeah, when the pressure's not on.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that was one thing I highlight. I really enjoyed playing Mothership. It's definitely, if I was going to run a sci-fi game, it's what I would want to run.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we're out here. Bye, Craig.
Bye,
Bye,
Craig.
Craig.
We're not doing
Bye.
Sonics.
What?